All right, we still have people trickling in, but we have a lot to go over today. So we're going to get things started here. Keep letting folks join us, but welcome everyone. My name is Pamela Hawks. I am the Chief Development Officer here at Easterseals, New Hampshire and Vermont. And we are so honored to have you joining us to learn a little bit more about Easterseals, New Hampshire's Military and Veteran Campus. This is something that we are super passionate about and really is a long time coming. So our hope for today is that if this program is new to you, you're going to learn a little bit more. If you have had insider scoop about what's happening, you'll get an update as to see, what's been going on and how close we are to the completion of our phase one. I do want to talk about a couple of quick things around housekeeping. This webinar will be recorded, just so you know. So we will be emailing it out to folks after. Feel free to share it. We want more people to learn about the impact that this campus is going to have. You all will be muted during this webinar as well. We'll have the opportunity to hear from both Maureen Beauregard and Aldenberg throughout this presentation. And then towards the end, we will have a question and answer portion of the time. You can do so by either dropping your questions right into the chat, or if you want to, come off later on in the presentation, you will be able to raise your hand via the Zoom feature, and then we will unmute you so that you can chat with our panel today. So with that, I am going to turn things over to Maureen Beauregard, who is the CEO and president of Easterseals, New Hampshire and Vermont, and really the visionary behind what we call our military and veteran campus. So let's go, Maureen.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for joining us today. There's so many friends that I've met over the years, and I want to call out the Shades. Thank you for being online. General Michaelides, it's really wonderful to have you with us. Eversource, the Guard, nonprofits, businesses, donors, the Giannonis, thank you. And when we think about this campus and we think about the success of the campus, it takes all of us. It takes all of us working in concert for this campus to be successful. And I'm just going to remind folks of what's on the campus and how we got here. I'm going to do an abridged version because I think I've spoken to a lot of people about this. First of all, this is the hardest project I've ever done in my career in terms of like construction, historic, all those things. And it is absolutely so endearing to and an honor to do this project. So when we started out on this, of course, Phil Taub was involved, the Governor Sununu was involved, and there was funding for housing for veterans. And I recommended to folks that perhaps we look at our Franklin campus, and maybe that might be a good location for it. And look where we are today. We have the certificate of occupancy on the housing, and I don't think I have the ability to circle where that is, but there are two buildings that are connected. That's 29 units of housing for the military and veteran community. The good news, people are moving in this weekend, and we are anticipated to be totally full by September. And the other part of this project is as you cross the street, you see a clump of brick buildings. That's included in phase one. That's the Bernie Herron Center. And that is the home to the Military Veteran Services Conference Center and Hotel. We are turning the corner on that as well, and we're anticipating the end of July that we'll have our certificate of occupancy on that. And when we think about phase one, these are buildings. The real strength of what's happening here is the Veteran Service Organization space, including the Guard, the VA, et cetera. Everybody's included in that Veteran Service Organization when I say that. And in here is a hub. Within that hub is where we are really hoping that our partners will come together with us for that sole purpose of working with that military and veteran individual and or family. And that is when we designed this campus and we were talking to the governor, the executive council, it really was about bridging any gaps that folks may experience while they're transitioning out, or once they've retired, or even while they're active. So phase one encompasses all of that, and we're excited to have a ribbon cutting on September 18th. Please come. This is about all of us coming together for that one purpose. Next slide. We have a phase two, and we are realizing that dream sooner than what we had anticipated. I have to tell you that talking about this campus, no matter who I'm talking with, they are elated. They are elated that we are coming together as one, that we have a space specifically designed for the military and veteran community, and that we're able to keep moving forward with the dream of fulfilling phase two. When you look at phase two, does the next slide highlight phase two? Okay. So, the sites that have the dash around them, we had always hoped to do that. And today we're talking about actually doing it. We are looking at an aquatic and fitness center, which is number 3. We are raising money for that, and it is our hope that we can get that done in about a year. We are number 4 is what was the Burley Cottage. It's now the Zelinsky Empowerment Center. This is a beautiful old building that had seen better days, and we are so excited to move forward with the reconstruction and in addition to this building. And that'll be the home to Veterans Count. There'll be some offices, meeting space. When you think about the Courier doing art therapy, you think about other groups doing movement therapy. This will be a great space for that. And then number 5 is the Zelinsky Equine and Recreation Center. And it was exciting having a dream about this, meeting with folks from like Northeast Passage, the folks that work with dogs, the folks that work with equine programs. It was really exciting dreaming about this. The reality is that this is absolutely happening. And we are hoping, we don't know, to get into the ground by fall. If not fall, then spring. And so the Zelinsky Equine and Recreation Center and the Empowerment Center are absolutely a go. It is our hope that we'll continue to raise money for the Aquatic and Fitness Center, and hopefully that can be done at the same time. This is pretty magical. It's pretty magical. And we are so happy that we have partners that have looked at this with us. They've given us their input, and now we can't wait to partner with you on fulfilling your mission on this campus. The other building that hasn't been highlighted, there were 2. When you drive on the campus, there's a building to your left. That is the Easterseals, New Hampshire Military and Veterans Campus office, main office. And in there, we have room for volunteers. Perhaps there are volunteers that want to come for a few days. We're going to have a place for them to stay for a few days. This is beyond exciting to someone like me. And then to your right is the Franklin Historic Society. That'll remain. We are gussying up that building as well. When you look at this in its totality, there's no mistaking why you're on this campus. There absolutely, it goes to the heart of our purpose. And I'm going to bring you back to when we were first starting on doing surveys and interviews, etc. The things that were highlighted was what about some sort of a pool? What about some sort of a equine facility? What about a place where people can live? And what about really bringing together veteran service organizations for the purpose of making sure that whoever walks on the campus is taken care of. The other part of this that I really want to make note of is that this is absolutely family friendly. Family friendly. We want families. There will be a playground for the folks that stay at the retreat center or you come for a day. The housing will have a couple of families in it. This really is about the family unit, that individual, and I couldn't be happier being able to present to you the things that we've accomplished. The real work, if I think this was hard, the real work is when we all come together as one and we work for that common purpose of the military and veteran community. Next. Having a team with boots on the ground that are absolutely ready to embrace this campus was just as important as the buildings being built the right way. And I couldn't be more proud to have Al Aldenberg as a colleague and friend on this project. Al has served as in the Army National Guard for 32 years, 27 years as a police officer, 4 years as the Manchester police chief. He's someone that I really took note of with with the manner within which he led. And I was so impressed and moved by him that I feel very blessed that we've come together and he's agreed to do this. Recently, was elevated to Brigadier General in the Guard, in the Army. And Al, I am just so happy to have you on board. You can talk about your team and what's ahead. But thank you everyone for being here. If I didn't say your name out loud, please know that I think about you. I think about all of you, and it's going to take all of us to make this a success. Thank you.
Thanks, Maureen. Appreciate it. Very privileged to be part of this whole project and the Easterseals team as a whole. So, we ready to do the video, Mike?
Give me just 1 second and I'll get there. We are ready.
While we're waiting, I have to give a shout out to Procon. Amazing, amazing design build. John Stebbins, the whole crew really pulled off something fabulous. So thank you, Procon.
Thanks, Maureen. Yeah, Mike, go ahead and play it so folks can get a feel for what the campus looks like. So, like Maureen talked about, we're really building something special here in Franklin with this Easterseals Military and Veterans Campus. Obviously, it's going to be the first of its kind in the state, but the goal here is to make it a model for those across the country that are doing work in the veteran and first responder space, and their families. So, what you're looking at right now is the outside of the permanent housing, those two buildings on your left, and that's where the 29 apartments are going to be. So as we move inside the building, walking in the front, important to note, these apartments are designed specifically for veterans, service members, and their families. And mostly all of them are ADA compliant. Also want to note that the rents, they include heat, hot water, electricity, air conditioning. So pretty good value, and we're providing permanent stability for veterans that have done a lot for our country. So what you're seeing now is a 1-bedroom. We have 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom layouts. You'll see some oversized windows there, all brand new windows, a lot of natural light coming in. Granite countertops, all new appliances, and a lot of exposed brick throughout the entire building. So this is a 1-bedroom, pretty large in my opinion. This one's pretty special. As we walk into the right there, these were like porches as part of the old building. So Procon keenly redesigned these to be a sunroom. So whoever's getting this apartment and another one, not only 1-bedroom, but they're getting an additional room off the side, just some additional space that overlooks the field. So the connector, we connected both buildings to bring the community together. We didn't want two separate buildings. All those lights you see there, were original lights that were on the campus. So we refurbished those, and then the connector has an elevator. And as we go down to the bottom floor, this is a community room. So you say, oh, we have 29 apartments. Why not 30? Well, this is why right here. Mike, just pause it for a minute if you can. I want to touch on this a little bit. This is a very large community common space for everybody that's going to live in the permanent housing. You'll see a fireplace, TV. We're going to have some rec down there. We're working with Northeast Passage, who's going to come out to the campus specifically for the residents to do activities, indoor, outdoor rec for them about 12 times a year. Great partnership, who's doing a lot for veterans. So this will be the space where that will happen. Maybe a future space for an Army-Navy game too. So go ahead, Mike. Again, just more of that community room. You see a kitchen, and then we'll have a common laundry room for all the veterans at their disposal. So everything they need is going to be right here on site. Again, just to look at another apartment. As you can see, pretty spacious. For those of you who've been in here prior to construction at the ribbon cutting, if you went in now, you'd be blown away. The view out the back of those windows out into the large open field where the equine facility will be, future space for a challenge course out there. Pretty exciting stuff. And this is the back of it. The back of the building is actually the main entrance where the veterans will come in. That's their access, completely controlled, access controlled, safety, completely monitored. And then we'll take you across the street very shortly here. The Bernadine Herron Center. And that's what you're looking at right now. This is an event and a treat venue. In here, we'll have 22 additional hotel-style rooms and a conference space up to about 150 guests that can use that conference space, which you're walking into right now. Used to be a chapel. Disregard the color on the walls. That's being changed. This will have full technology, perfect meeting space. This is perfect for those veteran service organizations that are looking to do retreats, meetings, corporate retreats, team buildings, leadership workshops, community gatherings, you name it. A lot can happen in that space. As we go down this hallway a little bit, we're going to come to the main entry to the retreat center, which is right out that door there. Be a beautiful courtyard in there. All laid with bricks, probably part of a future brick program, brick naming opportunities. Downstairs is a lift, and then we'll take you downstairs into the hub of services as well, where the veteran service organizations will have space. And what you see here is one of the hotel style rooms. Again, 22 of them, all of different variations, king size, queen size. And here we're walking into additional cafe area. Right off in front of you will be a full commercial kitchen that you're seeing right now. They'll be completely rehabbed. We're able to salvage some things in there, but that's going to be completely overhauled. And again, another look at the courtyard. And again, now you're looking out towards the Merrimack River. We're on 59. We're on the rail trail. 59 miles of rail trail that runs north-south. Maureen touched on a lot of the services we're going to have, but again, a lot of outdoor rec that we're going to take advantage of and really partner with the city of Franklin to offer as many services as we can to veterans and first responders. So super excited. So if you want to get involved, please, contact me. The website for the campus is Military and Veterans Campus New Hampshire.org. Go on and check it out. So with that, Pam, I'll see if we have any questions or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you just talk real quick about your staff, right? Because you are going to have
Yeah.
a small but mighty staff on that campus.
Good way to put it. Yeah, so I have an assistant director, Frank Swerko, retired Command Sergeant Major with over 40 years of service in the United States Army. Nick Grant, he's my promotions and sales manager. He's a veteran of the United States Army, 101st Airborne Division. And I have Karen Lounsbury, who is my volunteer coordinator and more importantly, a Gold Star mom. So we are going to rely heavily on volunteers. So if any of you out there know of people or yourself want to volunteer, I encourage you to contact us, and we'll gladly take on the assistance and whatever you want to provide. Super helpful if you can.
Awesome. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Pam.
Yeah, thank you both so much for that. I think just the progress that has happened over the last couple of years, forget about the last couple of weeks, I feel like it just keeps changing every day. So super exciting that folks are moving in this weekend, you know, getting that started, and we'll be full hopefully by, you know, by the September timeframe. So if anyone has any questions, I know we did have one question so far, but if anyone wants to drop a question into the chat, that would be great. Or if you do want to come offline and ask, you know, raise your hand on the little emojis at the bottom of your screen. But to circle back to the housing, I know Maureen, you mentioned that the elevator does access every level of housing, but can we just talk a little bit more about the units and how they are accessible and in what type of ways?
Do you have that, Al?
Yeah, I mean, the majority of them are ADA compliant. You saw some of the video, you know, the counter heights, the tubs, the sink heights. So if somebody has some disability or they're in a wheelchair, those are one of the apartments that they would get. So everything, you know, kind of like when you see Tunnels for Towers, right? How they design those homes. That's really how these apartments are designed for those veterans, so that they don't have to reach, they don't have to bend down too far. Everything will be at a height that they need throughout the entire apartment. Critically important.
Yeah. Accessibility was really important for both the Bernie Heron Center as well as the housing. So there's elevator access for all the units. Some units are accessible, some are adaptable. And then in the retreat center, the same thing. We've installed several lifts to be able to make it so that folks can access different floors. Nothing was level, everything was on a different plane. So we took that into consideration as well.
Great, thank you.
Great. And Pam, I want to address something very quickly that someone asked. Someone asked, will this be recorded for later viewing? It will. We will send out the links to the recording to everyone after we're done. So if you know somebody who wants it, please forward it along. It'll be on social media too. But I think we have another question from Tom, who asked, are there any plans to provide medical clinic type services on the campus?
Not at this time. We are hoping to partner with the VA and get a VA clinic at some point, but that isn't imminent. And so for now, it really will be the VSOs, the VA, et cetera, being able to do what they do. And then in regards to progress, we have really done a fantastic job of getting this project done. We did run into some delays due to ensuring that we hit all the historic requirements. But we are on the project is going great. Yeah.
And Mike, that kind of addresses the question from Ben, the timeline. Maureen could probably speak better, but I think we're on time, relatively close in terms of phase one completion, with veterans moving in this coming weekend, and then more scheduled through the end of July. I think we're in pretty good shape. And then the retreat center, the hub of services across the street, we're looking like, you know, middle part of July for that to be complete, which is super encouraging. So we can start getting the veteran service organizations up there. And we're holding the veteran service retreat in conjunction with SWAM. Obviously, they host it every year. We'll be at the campus on September 9th. So if you're a VSO out there, you know, reach out to me or SWAM and make sure you're on the schedule to attend.
Somebody asked about the criteria for the housing, and we did use the low-income housing tax credit as a resource to build the housing. And there are income qualifications in there. And we also worked with the VA for VASH vouchers. So, so there is, you know, income guidelines that we absolutely need to follow. So that's the story on the housing affordability. But by having those VASH vouchers, we're able to get some people in there that ordinarily would not be able to rent an apartment anywhere. So we feel good about that.
That's great.
Hey, Sean J, I see your comments in there. I encourage you, Pam will put my email in the chat. I encourage you to reach out to me directly. Maybe we can have a further discussion, kind of see where you're at. So please do so, because I don't want you to hang out there in the wind. Maybe we can figure something out. So please reach out to me.
The DAV, will they be providing transportation to VA appointments, Al?
Yes, we've been in communication with them. We'll also have our own transportation assets on the campus to assist veterans that maybe don't have transportation, or maybe the DAV not available to him or her. So we'll have transportation assets covered to get the veterans where they need to get, particularly medical appointments. No worries about that. If I have to do it myself, I will.
We've got a couple of questions on
Mike. Sorry.
On the retreats and amenities. Scott asks for organizations who are interested, what's available and how does a company reserve? And then Karen came in again and said, is there a framework for coordinating use of the retreat center? So I think there's some interest in how can people get on campus to hold their retreats? What do these look like?
Yep. Great question. An important question. So I encourage you to go right to the website, militaryveteranscampusnh.org. And right on the website, you will, there's a spot to inquire about the retreat center. You fill out a couple quick boxes, quick questions, and then that email comes directly to myself and my staff. And then we'll be in contact with you in probably under 24 hours to see what you're looking for, see if we can set something up. So go to the website that Michelle just put in, and I encourage you to do that, and we'll be in touch to talk about any retreat that you would want to hold. You know, and keep in mind that holding a retreat, you know, part of what's available to you also is those 22 hotel style rooms, and 22 of them can accommodate up to about 50 people if you double some of them up. So it's a great venue. So please reach out. I'd love to have the conversation.
As someone asked to piggyback off of the retreat, the hotel rooms, can someone just go and stay without being a part of the retreat?
Yes, they can. So
Awesome.
we'd love to have that inquiry as well and have that conversation. We're going to have, you know, booking software that will be out there as well once that's live, you know, the latter part of August. But for now, go to the website and please reach out that way.
And Jennifer Hunter just said that it's super easy and she's hosting a day-long training in September on the campus. So thank you, Jennifer, for doing that.
The
Awesome. Thanks, Jennifer.
qualifications for getting on the resident list, I urge you to go to that website and call the folks that are listed there, Marie Poole and her team. They can absolutely help you with those qualifications.
Great. And then another question around volunteerism, like, do we know what that looks like right now around, is it, you know, ongoing opportunities? Are we talking about bigger groups? Do you have any insight on what that looks like yet, Al?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear from anybody, particularly if they're a larger organization that does volunteer work on behalf of other entities. We would, you know, things were like a cleanup day of the campus. You know, once we fully take control of it, doing volunteer things with the residents that live there, volunteers to help with some staffing on weekends. There's a lot of opportunities, or groups out there that, you know, may want to help with, you know, establishing a garden on the campus, you know, so we're thinking outside the box here. So we're open to hearing any idea, suggestion that volunteers may have. So we're happy to have that conversation. And again, so go to the website and there's a volunteer link there. All that will go to Karen and she'll vet it out all from there.
We couldn't possibly hire enough people to
No.
have the presence that we need on this campus. And I've said from the beginning, as a not-for-profit, in order to keep it, we give it away. And as we develop, we would love to rely on more volunteers to help us with the core purpose of this project. You know, we have a retreat center that we'll need help with, the front desk. Maybe we need volunteers there. You know, we will be hosting folks for retreats, and how can you help us with that? There are so many different aspects to this campus, and we'd love to have a really robust list of people to help us run this campus so that we don't have to hire people to work it.
Great. Something that came on the side to me was, is this campus only open to veterans from New Hampshire?
No. So if you know a veteran in Massachusetts or Maine, or, you know, in the New England region that's in need of services, or that they're not getting in their own state, or in need of housing, and they qualify, please reach out.
Thank you.
And somebody asked if there's going to be a playground. Yes, there will be. Forgot to mention the playground, as well as the future amphitheater that will be also out in that big open field that you saw in the video. So super excited about that too.
And we're getting an outdoor challenge course put in sometime this summer. And we will be working with groups that's their day job to do. We're providing the space and they're providing that service, just like with the equine, dogs, etc.
Great.
Would like love to connect with Jennifer at Granite United Way about that comment about connecting with volunteers and other businesses about volunteer opportunities. So we will mark that down. Thank you, Jennifer.
Maureen, you talked about for phase 2, we're hoping to, you know, break ground in the fall, if not starting in the spring. Is there a timeline of when completion of phase 2 might be?
It'd be about 12 months from the time we break ground. We're going through the planning process right now. We have to go to planning and we have to do plans and specifications, etc. All of that needs to get done. And in order to start construction, we need to get in the ground before frost happens. So we're competing, even though it's summer, we're competing with winter.
Makes sense. Great. Any other questions in the group? This has been fantastic. What great conversations happening here. Thank you for all of this. Will there be thoughts on dedicated area for RV spots, like on a military base?
Great question. I have seen that at your large active duty installations. At this point, no, we have not had that discussion. We'd have to really have that discussion with the city of Franklin, who's been a unbelievable partner in this project. So kudos to them. But no, we have not had that direct conversation, Steve.
Great. And I don't know if you see this note from Ben about being one of the first retreats also on the campus.
Not one of the first, the first. Super excited about having them up there. A large group coming up who's doing great work for siblings of those that have lost a loved one. So super excited to have them as up there as our first go, our first kick of the tires. So looking forward to it, Ben.
Great. And then we see Charlotte from Operation Delta Dog asking, how can a veteran organization that is a part of phase 2 stay involved with the project?
Well, I know Charlotte, and they've been involved from the get-go. Seen her a few times. So yeah, Charlotte, we'll continue to stay in touch, particularly as we start to enter that phase 2 and the work that you're doing with Delta Dog. So don't worry, Charlotte, you are going to be part of the team. We haven't forgot about you, So just be patient as we enter into phase two. But
I'm also curious, Charlotte, about being able to do certain things on the campus with the facilities that we have. We're
Yeah.
more than willing to think outside the box. Please know that. Any organization.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Mhm.
Will there be a bus stop?
we are working with the Easterseals transportation team here internally, is working with the state. So right now, the bus that goes by the campus will stop on demand, but we're hopeful to get a designated stop at the campus in the near future. And a lot of that's going to be driven by demand. So if we can show that the demand is there, then hopefully they will add a permanent stop and pick up at the campus.
Great. Another question just came in. Is there going to be on-site security?
No, other than me and my staff. But the building, it's important to note though that the buildings, particularly the permanent housing, and all of them will have, exterior cameras, pretty robust system, access control to get into the building. So this isn't, yes, the campus is open because it's a public road, but the permanent housing will be very secure. And we've also worked closely with Franklin PD already. They're aware what's going on there. And I'm told already that they probably drive to the campus 5 to 7 times a day. So,
Mobile programming for folks that are part of phase two is welcomed, and we will do anything to try and help you to be successful with that until a permanent home is built. So please keep in touch. And in regards to, the resources at Recovery Friendly Workplace, we welcome that. And we also welcome veteran groups. Again, we have lots of opportunities, and we'd love to have people trained to be at the front desk and really help check people in, and to do that on the weekends, evening, during the week, help turning over rooms, helping us with the outside because it's 15 acres and it's a lot of work. And then what else could we imagine being there? Al, you talked about a garden. It would be fabulous to have a garden there at some point.
Love that. We're getting towards the ending, but I do have one more question here that just says, is there an idea around the cost range for the hotel rooms right now?
right now we're still working through that. I'm not sure if that appears in the website, but whoever's asking that, Pam, I can probably have them reach out to me directly and I can walk them through that.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, but I can assure you that it's going to be market rate, if not lower than what you would pay for a hotel over in the Tilton Lakes region area. I can assure you that we did the appropriate research, and the pricing is right where it needs to be.
Just another point, we're open to businesses having retreats overnight and day, to help defray the cost of the mission side of things. When we think about the military veteran community and their families, first responders, to be able to have this campus busy all the time, every bed full, we're very interested in working with businesses on that. Again, helping to support our core mission.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. I think at the max we saw like over 70 people on this webinar with us. We know you just took your lunch hour and want to thank you for being a part of this conversation, learning more. Again, the follow-up from us, you'll be getting an email the next 24 to 48 hours that will, or actually maybe on Monday, I'm sorry, that will be a link to the recording of this webinar. So if you want to share it off, please do so. But if you want to get involved in any of the ways that we talked about today, right? So from volunteering to being a VSO to providing services, to renting hotel spaces, booking retreat centers, making a gift to help make this phase 2 happen, please don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information's on here. And to kind of note what Maureen said, I mean, we can't do it without our community. So thank you all so much. And we look forward to hopefully seeing you all at the ribbon cutting on September 18th. Thank you. Have a
Thanks,
great week.
Thank
everybody.
you, everyone.
Thank you.